Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel for CruiseCasinoMafia.com, your home for a complete community of private casino income strategies for roulette, baccarat, and craps. Well, right now, our private members just got a taste of the first two introduction videos on something that is one of our biggest releases ever. It's called Baccarat Bonus Block System, and it is going to be amazing. But today on the public channel, I wanted to keep the Baccarat. We haven't done a Baccarat video in a few weeks because we've been doing a lot of simple roulette systems since it's the summer and a lot of people are going on cruises. But somebody brought to my attention a new, a simple bet selection that is really easy, and it's on, they originally saw it on the Money World channel. Money World, I think that's what it was. And you guys know how a lot of times in the past I've told you that bet selection in Baccarat for me has not been that big of a deal. It's all come down to money manipulation and handling your money. So I always love when somebody shows me a new simple bet selection. And then I obviously have to test it out, along with different money management, concepts, progressions. And we always usually fall on this channel and with our private members on very conservative money management. We're not big martingale guys. So I wanted to show you what the Money World guys were doing. And I thought it was really cool. It was a bet selection I haven't seen, but we've done things similar to this in the past. So let's go ahead and throw out some, we're not going to be betting yet. We're just going to throw these out. And I'll show you what they were doing. And I thought it was really cool and fun. Okay, we're looking at the main road, the big road, okay? Now, you guys have seen on this channel and some of our private stuff too. Okay. So we've got 2 rows now done, right? 2 rows. We need a third row. All right. It's banker. There's their third row. Okay. So what this bet selection is so simple to do. All right. Which is why I think it's pretty cool. So that's all you're going to do is look at the last 3. Because if you came in later on in the shoot, you would still look at the last 3. And you're going to say, what's dominant right now? Is there a dominant banker or player? Well, obviously on this one, we can look here because it's real simple because we only have 3 rows. And you can see there's 3 bankers and 1 player, right? 3 bankers and 1 player. So banker is dominant. So that's going to tell us that we're going to be betting banker for the win right now. I don't know what they were doing over there. I have no idea because this was given to me by one of our members. But it depends on how many bets and how aggressive you want to be, right? So we know that we've gone through 3 of these, right? So you can bet for the single win. Right? You can bet for the single win and then wait for another 3. And we can do that. Or you can be aggressive and just keep betting on whatever it is for the banker. So that's up to you. But let's just take, the main thing here is let's give you the basics, right? And I'll just do one of our simple money managements. I'll do something. What do we want to do? We want to do a 1, 2, 3. We want to do a 1, 3, 5. We want to do something like that, or we want to do something where we only go up on the bet after 2 losses in a row, something like that, and make it a rolling bet. You know what we're going to do? Because I'll screw it up if we make a rolling and I'm talking at the same time. I don't have a spreadsheet up. So I'm just going to do something like a 1, 2, 3. I'll do a 1, 2, 4. So it may not work out where we make money, but the point here is it may or may not. I just want to show you the bet selection. So we're going to be betting for a banker. And we're just going to do a 1, 2, 4. So we'll just go back and we're going to bet 1 unit. We'll do $10 on banker. And we lost. We're going to do our second unit on banker. And I said a 1, 2, 4, so we'll stay with the banker for 2 units. 2 units, yeah, 20. What am I doing? Already screwing up, huh? And then we won. Okay, so we won 1 unit, right? So we know the way that this bet selection works is it's every 3 rows. Every 3 rows. So we made a unit. So we're going to play this ultra conservative. We're not going to try to get aggressive and play any more here. We're going to wait for the next row. It has to jump, right? It has to jump. So let's go ahead and watch it jump if it does. Okay. It did jump. We've got 3 rows, and now we're on 3 rows. So where are we at here with this 3? Well, with this 3 rows, the dominating is what? Is player. So we're going to bet for a player now. And we're back to our 1 bet. And we lost. We're going to stick with player, and we're on our 2 bet. And we lost. Now we're going to be on our final bet, which is, in this case, we're doing a 1, 2, 4. We're just going to stick with player for a 4 bet, right? So that's 40. All right? And I'm just throwing any money management on here at the moment because that's not the point of the video. And we won. All right? We're up 2 units right now. We're up 2 units right now. All right. So now let's count backwards, right? 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, we don't do that. We're gonna just do the last 3. So here you go. What are the last 3 rows? We've got 2 and 2, right? So it's up to you. Here's what I would do, right? If you're aggressive and you just can't handle the fact that there's, that you're not going to make a bet here, because if you want to be conservative, you have to wait for a 3 block that has a domination, right? If you want to play it a little cute, because you need to make more bets if that's you, if it's a tie here, then you can go to the overall for the shoe. And for this next bet, you can use the domination of the shoe if you want. So in this situation, it would be banker, right? There's 6 bankers and 4 players. So if you wanted to, you could bet on banker here. All right. We'll wait. We'll wait and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. So let's deal the card. So there's no domination on the 3s, right? On the 3s, but there is domination if you wanted to use this. So if you did this, you would be betting banker. Now let's see what happens. All right, you would have lost there. You would have lost there. And you would have won on the 3rd one. So again, that would have been a win if you use that little tweak, right? If you would have used the, if there's a tie in the 3, if you would have used it. So that would have been another win, right? That would have been another win. We didn't play it, but that's the way you could do it. So now let's look again. Let's go back 3, right? So we're using, what I'm doing, I don't know if that's what they did, but I'm using a rolling 3, basically. Rolling 3. So what do we got going on here? The same scenario again, right? 3 bankers, 3 players. So this time, let's go ahead and see what it feels like. We've got a slight domination in the shoe of banker player. So let's go ahead and go for a banker again, right? Which means that you're looking for this to duplicate on this side, right? If you're looking at it as a pattern, which that's not really what's going on, but it's a 2, 3, you're looking for the 2 here, right? For a 2 drop. So we're going to go ahead and just do that for the hell of it. And we're going to do our 1, 2, 4 looking for a banker. And this is just a simple bet selection. That's the only reason I'm showing it to you guys. So we lost on that. We go to our 2-bet. We lost on that. We go to our 4-bet. Let's see what the board looks like. Yeah, a little ragged here, right? A little ragged. And we lost. So that is a 3-bet sequence that we lost, right? That's a 3-bet sequence that we lost. But when you use the 3-bet sequences, like we're doing a 1-2-4, but most of the guys that are already in the private membership understand there's multiple 3-bet sequences that we use and we teach all the time. This one's a little bit more aggressive than some of the other ones. There's even more aggressive ones than this. So there's the deal. So that was, we would have won the first time that we used the shoe dominance. And then we would have lost the second time if we would have used the shoe dominance, right? So again, I'm just showing you that that's something you can do if you're, if you just can't wait for a dominant 3. I know with me, I probably wouldn't be doing this. I would be waiting for a dominant 3. That's probably, it's not about how many bets you're making in a shoe for me. It's never about that. I'm not an action player, and we teach people not to necessarily have that action mentality because it all comes down to walking away with profits, right? That's all that really matters. Nothing, it's not about how many bets you made. All right, so let's look at this 3 block. Obviously, you can see in the last 3, player is dominant here, right? So player is dominant here. So what would we do? We'd be playing for a player. So let's put our 1-bet out. It's a tie. We're just going to repeat it. Ties don't matter. It lost, so we're going to go to our 2-bet. And it wins. Okay? So now let's look at the last 3 again. Again, what is it? Obviously, we're still dominant player, right? We're still dominant player over the last 3, so we're going to bet player again. And of course, let me give you another caveat for people that are new. I always tell people, yes, you can play the whole shoe or up to a certain hand number if you want, if you're new at this. You guys know that's not really the way that we do it. We look to make our money, move it into our bankroll, and keep, and have small profit targets. That's what we usually teach people in most systems, most. So what does that mean? 5, 6, 7 units and we're out. Now we lost 7 units in that little nonsense we did here when we were using this. So that would have been another 7 units here. So we probably would be in that range because we didn't lose any of our other ones. So we probably would already be out if it wasn't for losing the 7 units or close to it, whatever. All right, so here we go again. So we're going to be betting this time on player again. And we're going to be, there's our 1 unit bet. And there it is, okay? So that is the story. So now we've got to wait because this is technically the same 3. Oh, actually, we did that already, didn't we? No, we did not. Okay, so that's the same 3 rows. You understand, you need to have more rows. We played that one on the same, that was the 3 rows and we won. So we really would like to, you can either do this as a rolling, right? And I would say to you, you can't use the same rows again. All right, if I did it, I apologize. But what I would be doing with live money is I would want the domination of another 3 rows, which means I'm not going to have as many bets, right? You know that. But you can play it the way that you want to play it. So here's the 3 rows we already played. So let's see if we can get a new 3 rows going. So let's see what happens. So remember, it's a 3-1-2. 3-1-2. All right. That's another player. It's the same row. Yeah, see how it's going down. Banker. All right, we finally got another row. So we need 2 more rows. We need this thing to jump 2 rows for us to have a fresh set of 3 if you're going to play it like that. So there's multiple ways you can do this. Okay, that's row number 2. Still 2 rows, right? We had a 3rd result, but it didn't jump. Still looking at 2 rows. There you go. So there's our fresh set of 3. If you don't want to do the rolling business, right? If you want to play it really, really static, and it has to be 3 new ones after every time you finish with a win or a loss, right? And that's easy to do. Just write it down where you finished, and now you need 3 more rows. So here you go. So here we go again. We're even. 2 bankers, 2 players, right? So what I would do is you can either wait another 3, and if that's waiting too long for you, just wait until there is a dominance. Wait until there is a dominance. That's another way to look at it. Okay, you got a banker. Nope, it's still 3. Well, now you have a dominance. So here you go. So here's your 3, and it's 3-2, right? 3 bankers to 2 players. So if you want to do it that way, now your dominance for the last 3 rows is banker. So we're going to put our 1 unit bet on banker. And we lose. We're going to be able to put our 2 unit bet on banker. And we lose. We're going to put our 4 unit bet on banker. And we win. Okay? So you see how that worked out. We're using a 3 unit bet progression. I like using 3 unit bet progressions. There are some other ones that we teach. We have 3 volumes just about different money management, not system, money management, different things that we really like. Some are a little more aggressive than others, but most of them are not really that aggressive at all, because that's where we fall on the spectrum, because we're investors. We're not gamblers. That's what we attempt to do at cruisecasinomafia.com. So you guys understand what's going on here, right? So let me do something else. And for people that have been around for a while, there's a lot of ways to create this dominance as a bet selection. So maybe we can go back and we can talk about some of the things we've shown on older videos, right? Let me see if I can do this for you. So this is one way of doing dominance. Let me show you the other way of doing dominance, a few different ways. So let's go ahead and deal out. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, now I'm looking over here. So this time we were looking at 3 rows and determining our dominance. The other way we can do dominance is like this. So look at the bead road. And if you're in a casino where they don't show you the bead road, these are 6 down, and then 6 down, and then 6 down. So you can just mark it on your card. You just write the 6 results. B, P, B, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now we're on the bead road, so we need 3 more results to fill up the bead road. One more. Okay, player. All right, so now another way that you can do this is you can look at the bead road, the row, the completed row of the bead road. And now you can use this as dominance if you want. So what happened here? We have 3 bankers and 3 players. So there is no dominance, right? So in this situation, there's no dominance, all right? Now you may develop a rule, all right? And I'm not saying it's up to you. Let's say that you decide that banker has an edge, which we know that in the game of Baccarat, mathematically, banker has a tiny edge, okay? So maybe in your eyes, you don't want to give up any type of play. You want to play. So when this comes up and it's even, you make the decision that anytime it's an even split like this, you're automatically going to play banker, right? You can do that if you want, right? You can do that. So let's just do that just to show you how it plays out. So we're going to play now. We finished the row. We're going to now play for a banker. Let's say we're using that rule for tied roads, just for argument's sake, right? But we're only going to allow ourselves to play up to 3 times like we did before, right? So in that situation, you would do this. We would do the 1 banker, the 1 unit banker, and we lose. We would do the 2 unit banker, and we win. Okay? So do you see that you can use this domination concept in different ways, right? Now, if you were doing that here, what would you do now? Well, you already made your 1 unit for this row. So you would let this row fill up, right? So let's just do that. And this is easy to follow. This is a bet selection that's simple as hell. So then we'll talk a little bit about another possibility. And I'm doing this on the public channel, so you guys get a little bit of a glimpse for things. And these are very simple techniques. And we go beyond this, and especially with the new concept, the Baccarat bonus block system, let me tell you, we go way beyond this. Way, way beyond this. And I'll talk about that after this. Okay, so look what happened here. So now you finished a second row. So again, this one is obvious, right? It's banker is the dominant one. So now your domination for the next row is going to be banker. So you would just go out here again, and you would do a 1 bet on banker, and you win instantly, right? And you're done for the row, right? You're done for the row. So I just wanted to show you guys, I haven't done a Baccarat video in a little bit. We've been doing all these roulette videos. And I wanted to show anybody that's new that we've said this, we preached this forever. There are very simple bet selections that can be done for Baccarat. None of them, in my opinion, are the Holy Grail. So despite what you hear on other channels that are Baccarat channels, none of these little bet selections are going to be your miracle answer, right? They're not. Because what the miracle answer comes from is a lot of other variables. Many of them have to do with the math and the money. Stopping when you're down certain levels, setting profit targets for certain type of systems at certain places. And there's a lot of other stuff, and your bet progressions, obviously, right? Finding something that's not just a double, 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 right? And that's what we do. That's where you make your money. The difference between the guys that are showing you a 10-minute video where they're making all this money and everything looks like it's the Holy Grail is because that's all they ever do is martingale most of the time, right? So they martingale enough to get a win and then they look like a genius. The problem is in a 15-minute video doing a martingale is that that's not reality. That's not reality. If you're making 8 to 10 units on your martingale or 5 units, and then you have the potential of losing 100 units or 80 units or whatever it may be that you're doing, you're not showing anybody anything in a 15-minute video. So what I tell people all the time is this: no matter what you see, if it's interesting, you need to test it against massive data. And that goes for everything: roulette, baccarat, craps. We don't watch something for 10 minutes or test it and say, oh my God, this is it. This is the story. You've got to test it and understand the good and the bad. And because I come from the Wall Street world, I can tell you that I'm not really interested in the good side. Now you say, well, what do you mean by that? Listen, I don't care how much I win, right? This is the way you've got to think about it. If someone's telling you that they average 30 units in a Baccarat shoe, all right, I could care less. What I care about is the volatility and the drawdowns. Because if I've managed to find a bet selection and a money management that withstands the bad times, I don't really care what I make on the other side. Right? Now you say, well, what do you mean you don't care what you make? I don't care whether it's 5 units constantly. I don't care whether it's 10 units or 12 units constantly, whatever it may be. Because as long as I have a money management and a bet selection that consistently comes out on the positive side, long-term results, then it could be 4 units, 2 units, right? What if your units were $100 each and you made 2 units on every shoe consistently? What's wrong with that, right? What's wrong with that? So don't get carried away with how many units you're making. Make your focus be on the negative side. I want to see things beat up. I want to see what the bad looks like. I'm impressed, and I'm always interested to see how many units we would have made, of course, just like everybody else. But my number one focus is on the negative. Because if you can control the negative in anything you do when you put your money at risk, whether it's sports betting, whether it's Baccarat, roulette, whether it's options trading, whatever it may be, right? You're a winner if you can do that. And that's what people that are in the sports betting community understand, right? They understand that their winning percentage has to be a certain point. They don't talk about money. Because if you understand that you have a system that you're playing where your where your win percentage is constantly X, you can then tweak what your base bets are based on the bankroll that's necessary, right? If you only made 1 unit a day, but your 1 unit was at a $500 level, base unit, and your bankroll supported that, what does it matter that you made 1 unit? It doesn't matter at all. So don't get carried away with how many units you're making. And there's a lot more to that story that we give to our private members. So that's just a little bit of basic Baccarat stuff using domination, right? And those are just 2 different ways to use domination. And by the way, you can do the same thing here. So you can, instead of waiting for the row, you could have done this. Let's say we're on row 1. You could have done the same thing on the bead road. If you wanted to use the bead road instead of these 3 rows, you're going to get a lot more action if you do what I'm going to say now, if that's what you're interested in. So if your action is, if you want more bets, you can wait for the 3, and it would have been dominant here. That would have been the banker. And you would have bet for a banker for the next 3, and you would have won on the second bet, right? Now let's say that's the end of this row, let's say, even though there's 1 more. Then you're going to go here, and you're going to do it again. And again, it's banker, and you're going to bet for banker. And you win immediately, right? Then you're going to wait for the next 3, right? So that's the way you can do it. Now, you can also do this if you want. Well, actually, no, that's the easier way to explain it. So you can get more bets in if that's what you're interested in, if you want to do the 3 results and the domination. And we've shown that before on this channel, right? Or you can do it by row. Now, the interesting thing that Money World, I think, was doing, and what makes this a little unique, and that's why I thought it was interesting, is that this is taking into account a lot more results. Because unless you have the, boom, 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 the instant jumps, right, which would only be three results, a lot of these have longer streaks. So you're building in more results into the domination here, right? So let's say you were looking at these 3, just for argument's sake. Look at how many results it took to get 3 rows done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're looking at 7 results here. The best of these 7, which would have been banker, and you would have won on the second bet. Okay? So this is an interesting thing that they're doing there that he showed. Because instead of just the domination of the 3, you're looking at a lot more data, so to speak. Okay? Not the Holy Grail, just another interesting, simple, fun way to have a bet selection that you can pair off with a great money management concept. Because that's where you really make your money. All right, with that being said, I hope you guys take this. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the inside. And if you're interested in getting one of the most creative and evolutionary Baccarat strategies and living, breathing concepts, you're going to want to join cruisecasinomafia.com. We have a way to beat the Shuffle Master. We have a way to use conservative money management and combine these with something that we call an overlay to increase or an accelerator for how many units you're making in these blocks or patterns that we're going to be using. So we combine all these things into one system, but the beauty of it is the bottom layer is flexible. So we're going to be able to use it almost like a game machine. Let's say you have a Nintendo, right, or an Xbox. The Nintendo or the Xbox doesn't play one game. You can buy cartridges that have multiple games, right? More games. So the foundation that we have built with this new system, we're going to be able to use over the next 6 months to a year, whatever it may be, and plug and play other systems into our foundation, which is phenomenal. I'm real excited about it. We're getting some major feedback. We've just released the first few videos. We're taking it real slow explaining the concepts. So if you're looking for something that's pretty mind-blowing, along with 375 other systems for roulette, baccarat, and craps, go ahead and join cruisecasinomafia.com. Use the code MAFIA and the number 50 to get a $50 off your lifetime membership. We'll see you on the next video.